So the first step in our keyword research is really to do some keyword brainstorming. And in this lecture, I want to give you a process to do that using 3 different tools. By the end of this lecture, then, you will have an Excel sheet full of about 50 to 75 keywords, which then in the next lecture, we're going to bring into the Google Keyword Planner tool and narrow that list down by really checking the monthly search volumes. But for now, we want to get as many ideas as we can, because if we want to find low competition keywords, we got to find keywords maybe our competition aren't targeting, and so that is the objective of this lecture. So there are many different tools that you could use for keyword brainstorming, but I've selected 3 in particular. Firstly, because they're all free, and secondly, because each tool will help us think in a different way, and that means that we will have the greatest list at the end of this process, the most diverse and broad range of terms that we can. So the first tool we're going to look at using is Wikipedia. You're probably already very familiar with this, but in terms of SEO and keyword brainstorming, the great thing about it is that there's a lot of linking between the pages, and that can help us find closely related terms. Secondly, we're going to look at reddit.com. If you're not familiar with Reddit, it's a website where people post links and have discussions, usually a very passionate group of people, and they have very specific conversations there. So there can be some really high value keywords that we want to look at and pull out of there. So the final tool in our keyword brainstorming session is called ubersuggest.org, and what this tool is going to help us do is really find long tail keywords. What I mean by that is keywords that contain 2 or 3 words. So for example, with this tool, you'll pop in, say, drones, and it'll spit out hundreds of suggestions of longer tail keywords like drones cameras, drones that follow you, drones for sale, and often these keywords, the longer tail keywords, are less competitive, and that's why we want to use this tool as well. So those are the 3 tools we're going to be looking at. So let's get straight into it. So firstly, let's head over to wikipedia.org. We're going to try and think laterally here and find synonyms for our keyword example, drones. Okay, remote controlled pilotless aircraft, unmanned aerial vehicle, unmanned combat aerial vehicle, quadcopter, quad rotor helicopter. So these are all, good ones. And as you can see, they all link off to other pages, which probably have a rotor craft, fixed wing aircraft, rotors, tail rotors. There's just this UAVs. There's a whole source of keywords there that seem very interesting. So next we want to go over to reddit.com and try and find some subreddits about drones. So here's something that looks interesting. As you can see, there's different subreddits. So DIY drones is one, UAV drones is another, multicopter drone. Let's just have a look in this one, DIY drones. So what you'll see here is probably a lot of hardcore people talking about drones. Let's see, general consensus. So this looks HK. This is some type of product or product part. Quadcopter part lists. That could be interesting. People talking about the different parts. If you wanted to sell on Amazon specific parts. Quad build parts. Drone versus RC heli. So there's another keyword as well. Specific questions as well that people are talking about if you're doing blog posts, and if these are popular, you can see how many people are talking about them. So really there's a lot of stuff in there, but you can really just explore and see what looks interesting and put them back into your spreadsheet. So the final way we're going to get hundreds of potential keywords is to use this tool called ubersuggest.org. Again, it's free. And all you have to do is type in your keyword right here. So I've already typed in drones, and as you can see, they've given me 378 suggestions. This is very similar to when you type into Google. It gives you some suggestions here, but there's only about 10 or so. And so this tool really gives you much more suggested keywords. And so what you can do is you can go down through the list, and so you can add kind of to a clipboard the keywords that you think are relevant and that are good. So for example, drones for sale, drones camera, that's relevant if I'm trying to sell drones. Drones White House, it's more of a news story, and it's not a keyword that somebody would type in who wouldn't necessarily want to buy a drone. It's more something just news related. So let's keep moving down. You can see they have the keyword plus another word starting with the letter A here. Drone aerial photography, that's quite interesting. Drone attacks, okay. Drones Amazon, yes, those are interesting. Drones Best Buy. Drone battery life, that's quite interesting. That could be an article of someone looking to buy a drone, etc. So you click the ones that you like, and then you can just copy and paste these back into your Excel. So just to recap on this lecture, the purpose of it was to really build a list of potential keywords. The reason that we want to do it a bit of a research and think outside the box, think laterally, going deep and finding longer tail keywords, is because the most obvious keywords are going to be extremely competitive. It's unlikely that you're going to get to the top of the search results and get the traffic for those keywords. So that's why you have to do a little bit of digging and find keywords that maybe your competitors have overlooked. So now that you put the keywords that you found from these 3 resources into an Excel, what we're going to do in the next lecture is really make a data-driven decision and find out which of those keywords actually gets the most searches, and then we can start to narrow down the list.